Hi everyone, good morning on this rainy day. I decided to keep my pajamas on today because I don't think we're going outside. It's too rainy. Hi Sadie, hi Nella, hi Jose, good morning Penny. Do you guys all still have your pajamas on too? Decided today's the day, I'm just gonna leave them on. Let's see, Elijah, Kellen, Emerson, good morning. Hi Miss Lucia. Good morning. Okay, let's see what kind of poems we can read today. While we wait for everybody to get ready. We said, what shall I be? And here's Caleb. Hi, Caleb. This one's called You're Much More. There's no pictures with it today. So sometimes you just have to think of your own pictures. You're much more. You're not just your toes or your chin or your size, not just a bit or a spot or a part. You're not just your outsides, you're also your heart. You see, there's more than honking to geese, and there's more to a cow than a moo. When you add up all the pieces, there is more than we see to you. When we put you all together, you're a beautiful, marvelous, spirited, lovely, wonderful, one of a kind. You're much more than your anger, and you're much more than your fist. A closet's more than a hanger, and a fist has an arm and a wrist. You're much more than your sadness, and you're much more than your frown. More than a yell or a tap or a pout, more than a bellow or a slap or a doubt. You're more than a moment, a feeling, a part. You're more than an outside, you're inside your heart. You're much, much more than your anger, much, much more than your mind. When they put you all together, you're a beautiful, marvelous, spirited, lovely, wonderful, one of a kind. That's a nice one. Hi, Esmeralda. Hi, Maggie. Look at this one. This one's called I Need You. We might feel this way right now. We need each other and the people who are the most important to us. I need you. I need you so I can be your neighbor. I need you so I can be your friend. I need you so I can be who I am. Who I am. I am your friend. You need me so you can be my neighbor. You need me so you can be my friend. You need me so you can be who you are. Who you are. You are my friend. A bird needs air for its wings to fly. A boat needs water to float. A teacher needs students who want to know why. An election needs a vote. And a lining needs a coat. Just as I need you so I can be who I am, you need me so you can be yourself. We both need each other so we can be who we are. Who we are friends. We both need each other so we can be each other's friend. Nice. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to pull out my whiteboard. You can pull out your whiteboard if you have one. Or something to write with. Oh boy, where did my marker go? Well, we'll do green today. I hope green is easy for you to see. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about adjectives. Adjectives. Remember, those are the describing words that we use in sentences. And we learned that there are lots of different kinds of adjectives. We learned that you can use your senses to talk about adjectives. The way you see, hear, smell, taste, or how something touches, those are usually adjectives. Like this is a soft sweater. It's actually a onesie. It's just one piece. So this fabric is soft. The adjective would be soft. This marker is green. The adjective is green. It describes it. Color is also a describer. We also talked about size. The marker is tall and the crayon is short. And we talked how you can add ER to something to mean more, right? This marker is taller than the crayon. The crayon is shorter than the marker. And you can add EST to talk about something that is the most. That can be the most in the biggest or the most in the smallest. So now I have the marker is the tallest, the sharpener is the shortest. And then this one's in the middle, so you can describe it two ways. It's taller than the sharpener and shorter than the crayon. So those are all the things that you're working on IXL this week. And so then we also talked about sometimes sentences are describing what kind or how many, right? So if I said a purple marker, I'm talking about what kind, right? If I said 16 markers, I'm talking about how many. So numbers can be used as adjectives too to describe how many markers there are. So the last topic that we haven't talked about in your IXL, I'm going to read some of them to you today so you can kind of understand. It's called, does the adjective compare to or more than to? So it gives you a sentence and it gives you the adjective, and you have to decide, is this sentence talking about two things, comparing one thing to the other, or comparing one thing to lots of things? So in this first sentence that comes up, hi Liam, the adjective is harder, okay? So the sentence is, Nina's book is harder than Shane's. Is that talking about two books or more than two books? Nina's book is harder than Shane's. It's just talking about two books, Nina's book and Shane's book, only two. And Nina's book is harder. So sometimes you're comparing one thing to the next, and sometimes you're comparing it to more things. How about this one? This sentence has the word sweeter. 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 The honey cake is sweeter than the apple cake. Is that talking about two cakes or more than two cakes? The honey cake is sweeter than the apple cake. Hi, Charlie. So they're comparing the honey cake to the apple cake. Excuse me. And the honey cake is sweeter, so they're only talking about two cakes, the honey and the apple. I've never had a honey cake, but that sounds good. Okay, listen to this one. The adjective in this sentence is warmest, right? The most warm. My hat is the warmest one of all. My hat is the warmest one of all. Is that talking about two hats or more than two hats? My hat is the warmest one of all. Does that sentence make you think of two hats or a whole bunch of hats? It's talking about more than two hats, right? Because if I have one hat on my head and then I look at all of maybe the hats at school and I think mine is the warmest, that's more than two. In our class, we would have 20 hats or 21 hats if I was wearing one. So that sentence is talking about more than one or more than two. Very good. How about this one? This superlative, that's an adjective that we add ER or EST to, is greatest, greatest. The sentence is, this is the greatest story of all. Is that talking about two stories or more than two stories? This is the greatest story of all. It's talking about more than two, right? Because it's talking about the greatest of all stories. Think about how many stories we just have in our own library. That would be a lot of stories. So that's talking about more than two. So that's one of your IXL topics, reading the sentence and thinking about, are they talking about two or more than two? Okay, let's write a sentence with some of these verbs in it. Let's see. Let's think of a good one. Let's write this sentence. The pool is warmer than the lake. The pool is warmer than the lake. If you have a paper or a whiteboard nearby, you're going to try to write it just like we would do at school. And that's just talking about two bodies of water, right? The pool and the lake. And one is warmer than the other. The pool is warmer than the lake. See if you can try to write it. Ready? The. We know that. We can spell it in a snap. The pool. P-oo-l. Pool. Think about what makes that ooh sound, like in moon. You can write it on a paper or you can write it in your comment box. The pool is warmer. Warmer. Let's think about just warm for a second. The sounds are w or warm. But it's a tricky one because it sounds like an O-R, but it's actually a different bossy R. Think if you can guess what it is. The pool is warmer. First try to spell warm and then add er. Warm. It's a tricky one. Very good. The next word is than. The, than. The pool is warmer than the lake. L-A-K, lake. The pool is warmer than the lake. And if you finish, you can draw a little sentence or draw a little picture. Okay, ready to see it? The, capital T-H-E, the. Pool, P-O-O-L, pool, P-oo-l, pool. Is, we can spell in a snap. Here's that tricky word, warm. It kind of sounds like an O-R, but if it was an O-R, it would be worm, like worm you see in the ground. Warm is spelled W-A-R-M. And then we add E-R for the The pool is warmer than, T-H-A-N, the lake, L-A-K-E. And we need that magic E to make the A say its own name. Very good. And then we need a period. Or an exclamation point if you're excited. The pool is warmer than the lake. Like, I can go swimming because it's warmer. And then I just drew some water and the sun. Very good. Okay. So that's what your IXL grammar topics are, thinking about adjectives. And your math topics are similar because they're also about comparing numbers, right? And we learned a few different ways to compare numbers. We used words and we used symbols, right? And so we had this symbol. It doesn't always have teeth like this, but I like to put the teeth on it to help me remember which number is it going to eat, which number, and the mouth points towards the bigger number. So today we are going to practice comparing numbers that have 3 digits, so numbers in the 100s, okay? So I'm going to erase this for now and see if you can find those symbols in your comment boxes. So I'm going to put 2 numbers here. Okay, so I have 2 numbers, 122 and 113. So just like before when we had 2-digit numbers, we looked at the tens, but now we have 100s to see, and we're going to see if they have the same or the different amount, and then we can go from there. Well, this number has one group of 100, And this number has one group of 100, so that's the same. I can't tell by just the 100s. So then I have to look to the tens. This number has 2 tens, and this number only has 1 10. And I know that 2 is more than 1, so I put the symbol facing this way. 122 is greater than 113. Very good. Nice job. Let's try some more. Okay, now I have 114, 114, and 117, 117. So now I check again. Look at the 100s. They have the same 100. 1 100, 1 100. Now let's look at the 10. 110, 110. Still the same. We have to go all the way to the ones. 4 ones, 7 ones. So the 7 is greater than the 4, so I put the symbol that way. Excellent. Very good. Okay, let's do a few more. I have 103, 125. 103, 125. They still both have a 100. That's the same. 103 has 0 tens. 125 has 2 tens. So the symbol goes there. 103 is less than 125. 103 is less than 125. Very good. How about this? 101 and 100. I see 1 100, 1 100. 0 tens, 0 tens. 1 1, 0 ones. So 101 is the bigger number. 101 is greater than 100. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to put some numbers up and I want you to tell me what numbers I could put on the other side. Sometimes there'll be lots of choices and sometimes there won't hardly be any. What if I put this number here? 120 is greater than blank. What number could you put there? There's lots and lots and lots of choices. What could go there? It could have it could be a 3-digit, a 2-digit, or a 1-digit number. What could go here? Well, let's try 125. Let's see. 125 is great. 120 is 1 greater than 125. So I have 1s are the same, 2s are the same, but here this has 0 and this has 5, so this number is actually the greater number. We could flip the symbol, but 125 is less than 120. So we have to find a number that's smaller than 120. We could put 100, like Caleb said, very good. We could put 110, like Miss Lucia and her boys said. 111. Very good. This is the bigger number. So all of these numbers have to be smaller, which means they have to have fewer 10s and 1s than this number. So it can be a 3-digit number or it can be a small number, 2-digit numbers, like 33, like Nella said, or even 0. Very good. So that's what you're going to practice today on IXL, comparing numbers in the 100s. There's one more topic there. It's called comparison word problems. And you can read the problems or you can listen to the problems, and you have to decide the answer. And the answer is about who has fewer or who has more. So here's an example of one of the problems. Jen and Ella are making paper airplanes like we did yesterday. Jen made 6 paper airplanes and Ella made 7. Who made fewer airplanes? Who made fewer? That means the smaller number, right? Oh, backwards J. So the answer would be Jen. She made 1 fewer than Ella. Let's try a few more. So sometimes you have to choose between 2 people, and sometimes you have to make a guess. So this one says, Nick went to a fruit stand and he bought 8 lemons. He bought more limes than lemons. So he bought more. So this is the smaller number. He bought more limes. How many limes did Nick buy? Did he buy 4 or did he buy 9? He bought 8 lemons. He bought more limes. So does that mean if your choices are 4 or 9, which one did he buy? He bought 9. Very good, because 9 is the greater number. Let's try one more. The grocery store has 6 loaves of wheat bread. There are more loaves of white bread than wheat bread. How many loaves of white bread does the grocery store have? So they also have white bread. Oops. And that number is greater. They have more white than wheat. So if your choices are 2 or 10, how many white loaves do they have? If your choices are 2 or 10, how many do they have? They have 6 wheat breads and more white breads. The answer is 10, because that's the greater number. Very good. All right, so you guys should be ready for your IXL topics, and that's great if you guys finish them already. Good job. Okay, let's read a little bit more about animals today. We're almost done with our animal defenses books, and then I have some other cool books that I want to show you about animals. So we learned all of these ways that animals protect themselves. Camouflage, building homes, copycatting, having fake eye spots, laying eggs, having really strong, having spines or spikes that come out of them, shells, scales, bright colors that mean poison, spraying, and sticking together, like we learned about dolphins, and that word that's so hard for me, anemones. I've been practicing. I practiced all day yesterday. Okay, so the last section, there's 2 sections left. The last one is called playing tricks. I wonder what kind of tricks these animals could play. Can you see the pictures? Many animals save their lives by playing tricks on their predators. No one teaches them to do these tricks. It just comes naturally. Baby killdeer stay safe because their mother puts on an act when an enemy approaches. The killdeer mother flies away from the nest, then lands and drags one wing as if it is broken. The predator follows because a hurt bird is easy to catch. When the mother feels the nest is safe, she flies away, leaving the predator behind. So when a predator wants to eat a bird, they look for maybe one that's a little bit hurt. So she pretends to be hurt to get the enemy away from her babies. And then once the coast is clear, then she can go back. That's a pretty good trick. Look at this hognose snake. What do you think he's doing here? What's his trick? Let's see. Since most predators prefer to eat only freshly killed prey, the hognose snake acts like it is dead. It rolls over and gives off a rotten smell as if it's been dead for several days. The snake's tongue hangs out and blood drips out of its open mouth. No wonder predators leave it alone. I sure would. So he plays dead. So far we've learned that some animals pretend to be hurt and some pretend to be dead. Look at this lizard up here. It's called a leopard gecko. Many lizards, like this leopard gecko, have tails that break off when predators grab them. While the startled attacker watches the wiggling tail, the lizard has time to make a fast getaway. Amazingly, the lizard's tail grows back, but it's not as long or as straight as the original one. That's a pretty good trick. Look at this cuttlefish. I wonder what this dark patch is here. A cuttlefish tries to blend in with its surroundings. When that doesn't work, it squirts a blue-black cloud into the water. A hungry shark attacks the inky blob, thinking it's the cuttlefish. Meanwhile, the cuttlefish quickly sneaks away. That's a good trick, too. And here's one that says, strange but true, this butterfly up here. Birds kill butterflies by attacking the head. But the hair snake's head is hard to find. Hair snakes have long fake antennae which they wave about at the back of their wings. When a bird attacks these, the butterfly can usually escape. Oh, I see. So how a bird eats a butterfly is by attacking its head. But it's hard to tell which side is this animal's head, this side or this side. I think it's this side here because its legs are here also. Those are some good tricks. Let's learn. Oh boy. Do you know what this animal is? This animal is known for this trick. If the American possum can't scare away its attacker, it plays possum. The opossum tricks its enemies into thinking that it is dead. Suddenly it falls over onto its side. Its tongue hangs out of its mouth and its eyes are half closed. Even if the predator pokes or bites it, the possum doesn't move. It only moves again when it feels safe. So someone might say to you, you're playing possum, which means you're playing dead. Maybe if you're playing tag or something and you pretend to do the same thing. And these animals, their defense is called you can't catch me. So I'm guessing they have a way to get away fast. Some animals are fast runners, flyers, or swimmers. That's how they save their lives. But moving quickly is not always enough. Some animals have to outsmart their predators as well. These are called pronghorn antelopes. Pronghorn antelope can run fast for a long distance, but pronghorns don't just run away when they spot a wolf or coyote. They also give a warning signal by spreading out their long white hairs on their rumps. The large circles of hair reflect sunlight and can be seen from far away by other pronghorns. At the same time, the pronghorn gives off a strong scent, which also sends a message that there are predators around. Whoa, so this white on their bottoms is kind of reflective and maybe distract others and calls others nearby. This is the Australian sugar glider. How do you think he makes a getaway? Let's see. It's hard for a predator to keep up with the sugar glider. The Australian sugar glider glides through the air from one tree to the next. It can travel as far as half a football field in a single glide. The sugar glider has flaps of skin along the sides of its body connecting to its hands and feet. When it glides, it stretches out the skin flaps and sails through the air. It steers with the fluffy tail. Pretty cool. So he doesn't really fly. Those are not wings like a bird, but they are kind of like on our airplanes. They help the sugar glider glide so they can jump and glide just like our airplanes. And here's a red fox. What does the red fox do? When a red fox is being chased by a wolf or a lynx, it tries to hide its scent. It doesn't run in a straight line. It traces back over its own tracks. It runs through shallow water, and it runs along the top of fences and stone walls. And it even runs among cattle, pigs, or deer. Once the predator loses the fox's scent, it can no longer chase the fox. The predator has been outfoxed. So foxes are known to be kind of sneaky, and a lot of times animals use their sense of smell to follow other animals. They can trace their scent. So the fox does all these zigzags and he goes around his own scents. He walks in the water because the scent doesn't stay in the water, and goes around other animals to throw off anybody who might be chasing him. And that is all that we've learned in this book. And in the back it has an index, so we could look up either an animal or a way that animals protect themselves to learn more about it. So there's 2 more things that we can add here. We're running out of room. I'll put them back at the top. So some animals play tricks, like playing dead, and some, we'll call it a getaway. So some are able to get away fast. And that means that they maybe can glide, maybe they run really fast, or maybe they play little tricks like the fox does. Very good. So tomorrow on Friday, I'm going to tell you about a little science project you can do at home that we would do at school, just like the houses, but this time about animals. Then it should be pretty fun too. Okay, I'll tell you about it tomorrow and send an email to your moms and dads. Today is B Day, which is for buddy reading. And today is a perfect day to curl up with a good book with your parents or your sister or your dog or a stuffed animal. Or me, I'm reading books online, Harry Potter and Matilda. So if you go to my website or the Instagram, you can listen to me read a chapter of a book. So you could buddy read with me today, and you could just listen. You don't have to read your own book today. You can listen to books. So see if you can find a good book and a good buddy to curl up with. Okay? I'll see Elijah, Leo, Jose, Jair, Zane at 11, and I'll see everybody back at 1. We're going to solve that math mystery and do a little bit of writing. Okay? Bye, everybody.